Do we have some Deadpool box office figures for you? Do we know a little bit more about Black Panther 2? And are we talking the captains, both Marvel and Britain? Yes, this is Marvel Movie News!
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Marvel Movie News.
You know, I haven't thought about in years, Captain Britain.
There you go. Marvel and Britain.
Marvel and Britain? Let's see if they exist today. We are the Marvel Movie News, coming to you live from nowhere. Because there is such a scattering of news, it spans the entire Marvel universe, so I thought we should lean back and look at it from afar.
Yes, and it is housed in a celestial being's head.
Which is the future of Marvel, so it ties to both the past, the present, and the future. This is episode 182, which is just bananas.
Wow.
We are 18 episodes from 200, and that would put us at, what, 4 months, 2 weeks, 4 months from right now? So, like, by the end of the year, 200 episodes. Great Goga Moga.
Definitely before the end of the year.
It's, what month is it? When are we?
It's just after Memorial Day.
Okay. Okay, good.
It is May.
May.
Still.
Okay.
It will be June soon.
June, July, August. Okay, mid-September, around my 30th birthday, 200 episodes, and I know what time is.
Yes.
Time
is a
It
construct.
is invented, and it eludes me, apparently. We are the Marvel Movie News. You can find us on iTunes at Marvel Movie News. And while we're in this opening spiel, iTunes has been having some issues with the audio stuff. We know, we've heard you, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all you guys. It's getting worked on, and we are awares and want to make sure you guys know we're working on it. So if you can hear me, good. If you can't, you will soon.
Yeah, and also users have told us, and Colt has also told users he's trying to keep a hold of that, where it's people. Is that me? Oh no! It's one of those
When it
after
rains,
weekend
it pours,
days.
guys. It's a real Monday here after
There we
holiday.
go. Yeah, there you go. It's a real Monday. You can find and download the podcast on Podbean and Pod One. So if you can let other people know, that's very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Like tweet that out or put that up on our Twitter. I mean, we're trying to let everybody know, but we're still getting messages. So, yeah, spread the word.
And
This
it seems to be-
grassroots campaign.
To get the sound out. And it seems to be erratic because my iTunes works, but it depends on the iTunes or something. So update. I'm sorry for those that can't find us. But you can also find us on Popcorn Talk's website, popcorntalknetwork.com. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. Follow us on Twitter at Marvel News PTN and at the Popcorn Talk, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Marvel News Show. Follow us, like us, and if you retweet a link whilst we are live, Aunt Manthony in the booth will retweet you.
I'm still hung up on Jake Gyllenhaal being Mysterio because I think that's just like the perfect
so
casting, and
Isn't
I'm
it
just like
great?
crossing my
I want-
fingers until it becomes official.
I know. We kind of want that confirmed, yeah?
It's been a long week.
Oh yeah.
Who knows what time it is? Yeah, I really want Jake Gyllenhaal for that, and that news swept the internet last week, and we're still fingers crossed. We, this week, have a smattering of various news. There was no big breaking news, but it's all like miscellaneous, so this is like an annual with a lot of different writers.
Sorry, it's just like, thanks, chat room, because I have my hair different.
Yeah.
So I've gotten everything from nice hair puffs to it looks like Gary Oldman's in Dracula. I'll take it.
both very complimentary in different directions.
I know. I like it.
Miss Amy, where can they find you on the internet?
On all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ.
Perfect. And Markeia, where can they find you?
Wait, it's your birthday?
It was Friday.
Happy
Oh,
birthday!
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Such
Yeah.
modesty.
Yeah.
The live chat had to
incredibly.
tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Maria Menounos, MarkeiaMcCarty.
Correct. And you can find me at Coyjandreau, CoyJandreau. Those are all of the formalities. Now we begin. Deadpool 2. It's out. It's making money. It has passed the $1 billion franchise mark last week. This week, it has pulled in a total of $219,707,352. I'm always curious how they get such precise numbers down to the two.
Now $53.
Oh, it
Now
changed since
54.
I spoke. It's tallying right now. Someone bought a ticket. Damn it. So that was as of, I believe, this morning, because it has changed. And I think that we should, all of the people saying this shows the end of what movies are, what superhero movies are, really need to look back at $200 million R-rated film and also a $100 budget film. That is huge. It's already made its money back, and it's a marketing budget back, just domestic. That's an insane success. Exactly. It was never going to do Black Panther numbers. That movie was a movement, whereas this was the first
Excellent
Deadpool.
sequel.
Yeah, the first Deadpool was an R-rated like break ground. This is a sequel to that. Black Panther was so much and like a societally impactful, followed up Civil War, set up Avengers Infinity War, plus was an important movie.
Plus, it wasn't rated R, right?
Plus it wasn't, yeah, it was PG-13.
Yeah, it wasn't rated R. So there's really no point in comparison.
Exactly.
There's
So,
no comparison.
that was just people saying that. Just guys, that was the last movie. Doesn't mean it's. Stop it. So we also have some amazing images while on the subject of Deadpool 2 that made me very happy. We have some OG first time in the suit Ryan Reynolds costume stuff, and look how clean he was. Oh, so innocent, so untarnished. And even Ryan Reynolds looks so much the same. He doesn't age. He's perfect. Did you see that behind the scenes photo of him with the baby legs?
No.
He released a behind the scenes photo of them. Sorry to put you on the spot,
God.
Aunt Anthony. If you can find it while we talk, he released, I think it's on Instagram, a photo of him filming the scene where the mild spoiler, the baby leg scene.
Right.
And Ryan Reynolds, when he's not like filming, looks actively 12. Like it looks like pre Two Guys, a Girl in a Pizza Place Ryan Reynolds. Like what does he eat? How does he sustain this perfect age? Look at that! That's a young boy! What? How is that a 40-year-old man? Also, how amazing is that? They just set up cushions.
Yeah, no, I guess in my head, I just totally pictured it that it was like, wearing green from the bottom down and stuff. And it's like, no, they just had him sitting in the couch.
Movie
Sitting
magic.
in the couch.
Sometimes it's cheaper than you think.
There you go. Yeah, sometimes it's practical effects. So
Yeah.
that's just
What a great rehearsal.
Great.
So I thought that was amazing. Back to the early suit, it's really cool because the Deadpool suit has evolved so much in the comics, and it's such a practical suit because it's a guy that carries around his ammunition. It's a guy that like has his stuff. And thanks, Aunt Anthony. This shot right here is the first ever fitting, and it's pretty much just a Lycra suit that looks like a cosplay.
Yeah, I mean, like you would see this this particular costume walking around at any con, anywhere, in the world. Definitely see this MegaCon, Comic-Con, sure.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
And it was before they got the money
this,
from.
Was this for? Was this for Origins?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
We do not speak of that film, and it was not for that film.
Because all I could think of was what happened.
There was no Baraka rage.
If they had that suit, what happened?
Just sitting in a closet while they paint him, and he's just like, "You guys getting it wrong." No, I think that was the test suit for the test footage they did, which then got leaked. So I think that was the OG footage, and it's cool to see it evolve because now it has more of the trademark Rob Liefeld pouches. It's got more grit to it. It's got So I love the evolution of the character, especially from whatever this was. Which I consider this is Wade Wilson Origins. This isn't Deadpool. Deadpool didn't appear in this film. Wade Wilson did. Everything else is not canon. It's been struck from my mind.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, it's just Coy staring up forlornly at a picture of Wade Wilson from X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Didn't happen. And as of the end...
And Aunt Anthony just put up the Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine.
So
The Merc without a mouth.
This is why he does a horror podcast, to torture and enslave us. So Deadpool 2, making money, doing lots of things. The history of the character is amazing. If you ever want to talk about Deadpool, at me. Come at me. And speaking of amazing characters that we briefly tangented into, Trevor Noah was in Black Panther.
Yes, Trevor Noah was, or specifically Trevor Noah's voice
Amazing.
was in Black Panther. And you know what, Aunt Anthony, just go ahead and play it.
Remote piloting system activated.
Amazing.
I made it American style for you. Get in.
Okay, and we literally could watch the rest of the movie right
And
now,
Blu-ray.
and I would be a-okay with it,
Get beyond Wakanda.
All right, I'm on it.
but we can't. So, okay, stop now, or I'll make
Or
us.
we lose
I'll make
Markeia.
us. I'll
We
make
just
us
lose
watch
her.
the rest of it.
She's just done.
But yeah, he's credited as I'm not going to Griot, Griot.
He's not Groot.
Yes,
I am Griot.
Griot. Yeah, and he's the voice of the American style ship, the simulated ship that Shuri made for Everett Ross to then go and help save Wakanda. Wow.
And I didn't know this, and he didn't ever mention it. This just like came upon us. And Trevor Noah actually said, quote, "It was extra special for me because the people speak, I don't know how to pronounce this. I assume Osa. It's Xosa. I can't begin to try to pronounce that. I think Osa.
I think it's Hosa.
Hosa? Okay. Well,
I think so. But chat room, if you know phonetically,
if you speak Hosa, because they speak Hosa in the movie, he said there were subtitles, and I was like, I don't need subtitles. I don't need your subtitles. This is just for me right now. Nobody else listen. This reminds me of my mom. And that's the cutest thing. Trevor Noah the man's story is insane. And to find out he got to speak a language, a native tongue from his country, and like in this movie, I just love everything about this story.
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know Trevor Noah, he has a late night show.
Took over this little show called
Yeah.
The Daily Show.
So I haven't kept up with it, but every now and again I'll check back in, and it's always solid stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I like a lot of their correspondence that they have on there. So
The Daily Show has been amazing for like 15 years, and Trevor Noah did a great job. It's hard to follow Jon Stewart in anything, even like a stand-up special, much less his show. And Trevor Noah like is brilliant, and does a great job. And I just love that he got to be part of the Marvel Universe.
yeah.
'Cause that dude works.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like Xeno Hour. We need a Black Panther commentary with Maria Menounos. You know what? We'll put on the to-do list to do a watch along.
Yeah.
You know, further down.
When I know what
than
day
right
it
now.
is.
I know. When we can figure out what day it is and what time it is and when the 200th show is.
May? They tell me. So yes, we watch-alongs definitely we'll be back in the agenda at some point, along with a slew of other announcements as the world progresses. Speaking of announcements, Black Panther 2 release date possibilities are cooking. Now, since they released that giant slate of unnamed release dates, have been assuming Black Panther 2 is amongst them, and we won't spoil it for the 4 people that haven't seen Infinity War, but I'm very curious how that plays out after Infinity War. So I'm curious how they're going to advertise Spider-Man because of similar reasons. I'm also curious how they're going to announce anything with Black Panther, how anything can go forward. And I love the fact that the slate is just big question marks because that keeps the mystery alive. So rumor has it that one of the dates, maybe May or July 31st in 2020, or May, July, or November 2021 might be Black Panther. Ryan Coogler very much is being courted to return. Kevin Feige's already publicly been like, yo, please, like, yes, whatever you want. And he also said, quote, "One of the favorite pastimes at Marvel Studios is sitting around in a part 1 and talking and dreaming about what we could do in a part 2. There have been plenty of those conversations as we were putting together the first Black Panther. We have ideas in a pretty solid direction at where we want to head with the second one." So I think when it rains, it pours. Once we start getting information, it's going to be like, this movie's ready. So I'm excited.
Bonesaw's
And
ready.
it's Bonesaw's ready.
Amy, do we have any questions or comments going on in the chat room about any of the stuff that we've been covering?
Well, some people want Trevor Noah to be Captain Britain.
Oh, yeah, I'd be okay
He's
with
got a great
that.
accent.
And
I mean,
then
yeah.
we've got some people guessing for when we could have Black Panther 2. July 2020, February 2022. I mean, it's all up in the air, so I think it keeps us on our toes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm in the keep me in the dark camp.
I know, and you know what I'm thinking? What would be great? Like the day after Avengers 4, that's when they announce. Oh, and by the way,
Here's our slate.
Here's the slate that's coming up. There you go.
What they should do.
Or like the Monday after the weekend.
I was thinking 2 weekends after, so it makes all its money. It makes its initial money, and then once they announce it, people want to revisit it, so they see how it ties into the announcement. So then it has another surge weekend 3.
Oh, well, how about they give us a little bit of a trailer by then, like the 2 weeks
so then
after.
we know
so
the
then
wait.
you want to go back and watch because you just saw the trailer. And be
That'd be
like, I need
perfect.
to see.
And
what
then how the
these
Easter eggs
things
all
are.
land and where it builds up.
Yes.
Call us Kevin Feige. We have ideas.
I know. We've got all the ideas.
We know you don't know what you're doing over there with your perfect film universe, but if you need any ideas, we got you. So Black Panther 2, I think we'll hear a lot when we hear anything. It sounds like, I think it's just an announcement away of villain and plot and Coogler being attached. It feels like everything's pretty solid. It's just getting that information out there, which I'm excited about.
Yes.
Speaking of movies that...
Yeah, I liked Kevin Feige's well, I'm just paraphrasing the quote then, where he's like, I can't really say anything about this, but this is absolutely going to happen for Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
It's like, that's perfect. That's exactly it. And it seems like there is a very strong chance that Ryan Coogler is going to be part of it. And then some other people were saying, oh, well, maybe you could get Donald Glover in there and such and such.
That.
And he said that is such a minor chance.
Yeah.
Because think about it, we already have him in Homecoming. He's already Miles' uncle.
Yeah, he's already Aaron Davis. Davis, and that's
know?
in canon, so it'd be hard to make like
Yeah,
Aaron
so it's
Davis
like-
is not in Wakanda.
Yeah, let's just let him rest. There are other black people we can use. There's so many. But I know Donald Glover is very, very popular, and he. I haven't seen Solo yet, but I hear he did such an amazing job in Solo. So it's like he's everywhere. He's living and breathing the dream, and it's fantastic.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely. Someone in the live chat just asked about him being the Prowler somehow, but if he could, he could also be a good Akibe, which would be awesome. But
Shibe, yeah.
thank you. But I think he's pretty locked in as Aaron, and I think that role's going to grow. Like Homecoming will have more of him.
Yeah, and when I think of Shibe, because of his origin and because of how much is behind him, and that he would be the closest thing to a. He's kind of like a Kingpin / Joker.
Yeah, he's
more
big.
Joker than Kingpin type for Black Panther. I think of somebody like Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, same.
Someone who has that gravitas and that incredible emotional depth that he could get. It'd be really creepy if he got like really happy and in that weird way. So it's like something like that. An actor like that has like that expanse of acting experience too. So.
If Sterling K. Brown wasn't already in the universe, and
I
also
know,
wrote-
right?
Man, so also in the world of Marvel and the slate and upcoming movies before Avengers 4, we get Captain Marvel. Now, what's interesting about that is before she even shot Captain Marvel, Brie Larson played Captain Marvel in Avengers 4 because of the way the schedule was, and I love that idea because she basically knew how her character's arc ended in a movie that hadn't been shot yet because she had to shoot its follow-up because of the way the schedule worked, and that's such a funny concept. So after being teased for years, she'll be making her highly anticipated debut in March 2019, and then mere months later, Avengers 4 will drop, and they told the writers of Avengers Infinity War Part 2/4, whatever it's going to be called, talked to Collider and said, quote, "We were in the position where we were with Spider-Man and Panther where Brie was going to have to shoot her scenes, I think it's okay to say, before she shot Captain Marvel. So we can't really talk about what was decided, but it was clearly a conversation we had to have Ryan and Anna, who didn't exist yet before when we started that process. So you're going to have Brie bringing directors on, and we're trying to set up something that will work for our movie and not screw up their movie." So it sounds like Avengers 4 was an incredibly collaborative process. There were tons of writers, directors, actors, all making sure everything lined up well. And that's why this MCU is such a well-oiled machine, is like people aren't fighting for power. They're sharing it. They're going, oh, let's make this the best thing ever. And Captain Marvel played Captain Marvel before she got to be her own Captain Marvel in her own movie. So I'm really curious how that character arc develops, what that movie means, and how the 90s timeline plays out.
Yeah, the thing that I find particularly interesting with it is that she got to play with her final form before she ever had to play with her origin story. So it's like she was basically, I don't know, a Raichu before she ever had to be Pikachu.
Yep.
Of course, I choose
Charizard before Charmander.
There you go. Like it's, and that's really interesting. I wonder what they have her in. I mean, is she Mohawk? What costume do they go with? Obviously, it would be the red and blue, because they need to start off with the green.
Yeah.
So obviously because of like Marvel and because of that progression. But how fun is that? Where it's just like you show up on set and be like, hey, so we're gonna have to let you in on some things.
I'm me in the future. Don't worry
your
about
timeline. So there's that, and then they've basically worked backward to then get to that point. But sometimes that's easier.
Yeah, and like on a show, sometimes you're going to shoot episode 9 before episode 2.
Yeah.
So it's a lot like that. And then, if you're acting and getting right in the headspace, totally works out fine. It's very funny to me. And speaking of Infinity War, we have some minor details about why Sharon Carter couldn't come back. Peggy Carter's grandniece didn't make the cut of Infinity War, and basically they didn't have time to do, like we talked about with Captain America and Iron Man not getting to meet up before the movie, because the last we saw them, Civil War had happened. And it's funny because if you watch Infinity War, they don't. If you think about it, there's not a single moment because one's in space. So much like that, Captain America doesn't have time to like visit the old neighborhood while he's like out hiding. So that meant Sharon Carter didn't get the chance to make an appearance. It wasn't slighting the actress or anything else. It's just that movie is already so gargantuan. And they also, and this is a spoiler safe for Infinity War at this point, you think, right?
Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, it's been like a month.
Yeah.
Has it been a month? I don't know time. Time is a construct.
It
hasn't been a month?
I think it's a month this week.
It's been a month?
Haha, time is back!
It's been a month!
A month ago, so a spoiler. Red Skull is in the movie. And basically, when they were talking about that, they said he was always part of the plan. They just didn't know where to put him. So as soon as he disappeared in Captain America First Avenger, they were like, let's get him back. And he was already tied into coming back in the chronology. And I personally think where they used him was perfect.
Yeah, I know. He was such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Like, did not, out of everybody that's, just been a part of the MCU, did not actually expect to see him again.
I didn't either.
It was just one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, he's dead now.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. Be like, oh, he's a shade of dead.
But he's dead.
He's a custodian of the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. And it's like, wow, that's a fitting punishment for him. I really enjoy that.
And to be so close to your goal and not be able to achieve it is such a hell. I love the concept of
Yes.
a stone I can't have.
And then how about that when it is actually taken, then he's still in a form of hell. Like whether or not he then, becomes corporeal or not, he still has no hope at getting any of the stones.
And he serves such a great function to the film, because without that role, we wouldn't know that Thanos actually felt love for Gamora. We wouldn't know the depth of Thanos. Because that narration kind of showed, no, these tears aren't for you. That shows... Without that, it would have been a much more stiff scene. So I love that we had this exposition by way of Red Skull. What beautiful storytelling. He's the custodian of death. Oh, by the way, he's the Red Skull. And the imagery mirrored the imagery of death in the comics by being a skull in a cloak. It tied in together so well. I was so impressed.
Yeah. And with the Sharon Carter part, I know that I had a number of rabid nerds like ourselves that were really all about the angle that Steve Rogers and Natasha had some sort of liaisons, and then that's why that whole scene was awkward when Bruce Banner shows up. I'm trying not to say their actor names. I'm trying to use character names. Yeah. And I was always like, no, there's Sharon. I mean, she's not there, but no, there's Sharon. So this validates me.
Yes, this is the thing.
Yes.
He was on the run.
Yeah, we're just that. And then plus, that's such an awkward pairing for me for Black Widow and Captain America. That's something I don't want.
It doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
Not quite. I liked her and Hawkeye better until I met Hawkeye's family, and I was like, oh, they're perfect.
Then it's like, oh, okay, they're buds. They're like siblings.
Yeah.
Like I totally get that.
Because of Budapest, which we'll find out one day.
We'll never find out about Budapest.
Always about Budapest. Every episode of the show, I want to know about
You remember
Budapest.
Budapest differently
is so
than I
important
do.
to me. Oh, it's so good. The necklace, it's great. Speaking of captains, Captain Britain.
Indeed.
So, a man named Orlando Bloom. You may have heard of him. He wants to be...
Legolas. From Lord of the Rings.
The hobbits are going to Isengard, to Isengard, to Isengard. One of the first memes
Hobbits are going
on
to
YouTube.
Isengard they go.
In the beginning of YouTube, you can Google that. It's a whole thing. He was talking about basically wanting to be part of the MCU and wanting to be part of Marvel. So one, that's exciting because Marvel has gotten so big, actors are now publicly being like, please. And two, this man knows who Captain Britain is, a character that does not get talked about very often, not in the deep corners of Marvel. The 41-year-old Pirates of the Caribbean actor said, quote, I really think it's about timing. I've not been asked, but I've met with people over there, and it's one of those things where I took a lot of time out to raise my son, and after being in a big franchise, Pirates, it was more about wanting to be there for him. I do read Marvel a little bit. Who's the British one? Captain Britain. So there you go. Terrible costume, though. And also you've got Captain America. So what's he going to do? Captain Britain versus Captain America? What is he reading that has Captain Britain in it?
I'm not certain. When I saw this news, I started racking my brain for Captain Britain. There wasn't a lot there.
I'm like, maybe the stuff with
mean,
Cap and with the stone. He was in that briefly. He was in the Spider-Verse briefly.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I really even know of Captain Britain is because he was part of the Contest of Champions, like Grandmaster. I think it was him and Black Knight, because Black Mask is DC. It was him and Black Knight, I want to say, and cool. There was a fight. They were there.
Yeah,
they were there at the fight.
He always
place.
feels like the guy that shows up is like, I'll help.
Yeah,
like, he's always
I do remember that it was like I think his powers are. It was like I know it was endowed by magic and like a whole Merlin type of thing, which makes sense because Britain,
right?
And I believe there was a scepter and an amulet, and then eventually it had to be absorbed into his uniform. So then that's how he had to wear the uniform for his power. I'm sorry if I'm getting this.
Didn't he have
I think it was part of Excalibur. There was I know he was part of I think he was part of Hellfire Club.
You
I
found
wanna
a character
say.
we legitimately do not know much
Yeah.
about.
Sorry if everything that I'm saying is wrong.
Xeno Hour says
let me know.
Excalibur. Yeah, I thought it was
Okay,
Excalibur. So we're
Excalibur.
partly right.
Yeah, and then for some reason when I'm looking at him, I think it's like something with his emotions made him stronger or something.
He's also got a beard, which is cool.
Yeah. Oh, he's a beard.
No one has a beard under masks. And
Oh.
Captain Britain does. I've always
There
thought that
you
was a
go.
cool visual. Because, like, if you think about it, a lot of people have beards and they don't get repped in comics a lot because they're hard to draw. So,
Oh,
Captain Britain
interesting.
has beard.
So-
In the live chat, Zayas says a great list of actors to play him.
Okay.
Kit Harington, Richard Madden, Alexander Skarsgård, or John Boyega. All of those are great.
And then Wade Reynolds said Ben Barnes. I'm like, cool.
yeah.
I like Ben Barnes.
He's doing some great work on a TV show, though. Ben Barnes.
Oh yeah, that's right. We need to
We
keep
need more of
we need to
that.
keep his puzzle piece in there. He plays Jigsaw. That was my
See those
attempt at
puns?
humor.
You see those puns?
Oh, no puns.
Get those puzzle pieces in there.
Oh.
Speaking of Netflix, there are a series of things coming to Netflix from the Marvel Universe. In June, we have Thor Ragnarok on the 5th, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5 on the 17th, and Luke Cage Season 2 on the 22nd. So, June on Netflix is awesome for people that enjoy this show
Yes.
because there is so much coming. I am so excited for Luke Cage Season 2 because I expect to get a lot of new Spotify tracks. I got so much music out of Luke Cage Season 1. That's like one of the things I'm most excited about.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm seriously looking forward to because obviously I already own Thor Ragnarok.
I mean, hey,
Okay.
we got it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I still haven't seen the finale yet. I'm realizing that right now, especially because we're about to go into TV talk.
Yep.
And I realize I still haven't caught up on Legion.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of content.
I'm glad we have Amy here. I'm
Yep.
glad we do. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season 2 for Luke Cage. I feel like the things that we didn't feel like were necessarily wrong, but that were unfocused with the first season,
Yeah.
where bringing
A
in
mid-season certain
that mid-season,
folly.
bringing in that and having to build this, house of
Yeah.
this baddie that just didn't need to happen in that way. I feel like they're going to get all of that right this time
Well, the
around.
foundation's strong.
yeah.
The
Super
teaser
strong.
is incredible. The trailer's incredible. Like, we love Mike Coulter as Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
All the pieces are there. I do agree that, like, they learned that one mistake, which was a fairly jarring mistake because it
Yeah.
affected the whole second half. But that's an easy fix for not easy, but season 2, they know not to do that thing.
Yeah, I think they're very aware of that. And I'm excited about learning more about New York through the eyes of Luke Cage because that's something that season 1 did really well. New York itself as a city was like another character in it.
Yeah.
That and all of these books that I had completely forgotten that
Yeah.
I loved reading, like The Invisible Man, for instance, and them bringing that element, a literature element into season 1. I'm looking forward for them doing that in season 2.
Same, and I'm looking forward to the world growth because Netflix
Yes.
does a really good job making that New York corner feel very like part of the town, and
Mm-hmm.
Luke Cage did arguably the best of any of them. Like where the city of Harlem felt like a pulse, it felt like a living, breathing thing that needed to make Luke Cage work.
Yes,
So I'm
exactly.
excited for that. And speaking of TV time, Miss Amy, Legion, what are you thinking?
But TV time.
Figured if I yelled it once, but if not, we move on.
Yeah.
It's time for TV time.
I love the swell there.
There you go.
Marvel movie news. We're talking TV time.
So Amy,
Yes.
Yes.
how are you liking Legion?
I am going to be completely honest.
Oh.
I talked about this on Marvel TV Weekly. I had to binge watch the first season, and I liked it for the most part. And then this season, the second season, has been mostly nice. There was this one episode where there was a singing mouse. And like since
As you do.
exactly since then it hasn't been as exciting to me, and
All right.
it's a little bit of a struggle, but it's definitely different than
Okay.
what we're used to seeing just in general. from Marvel TV. So
I'm gonna watch. And I'm gonna be honest with the whole audience. I probably won't have time to watch this till I watch it all because I'm on episode like 3. So I'm probably gonna binge season 2 because it's just. And now that I'm so far behind, it feels like if I watch 5 hours, that's not enough. And then I just feel like I'd like it. The commitment is fear. So I'm probably gonna watch it all at once when it's over. I also haven't even been able to keep on Atlanta, and Atlanta is my favorite show on TV. I love Atlanta more than anything else on television, and I haven't had time to watch my favorite show. So I will be watching Legion at once. So when we get to like the finale, or maybe the week or two after, we can all
like we did before with
Yeah.
season 1. You know, where we didn't necessarily talk about it every week, but once the finale happened, we set aside an amount of time, and then we actually like broke things down. So
we'll have like an episode devoted. So everyone
look
that
forward
tweets
to
us,
that.
we apologize we can't do it week to week. There's a lot of time and stuff, but we will give Legion its due, and I'm very curious to talk to you about a singing mouse when I know what that means.
Guys, yeah.
yeah.
But things we do have time for, trailers. Like the new Cloak and Dagger.
We do have
trailer.
time for trailers because I see people in the chat room were like, Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, yeah. We
When's
get
Cloak
there.
and Dagger? How about Cloak and Dagger? Here's your Cloak and Dagger
Bah.
trailer
Freeform.
that we'll have to kind of talk over because that's how it goes.
Audio.
What are you doing here?
I need answers.
I think this is one of my most anticipated shows of the year. Like,
I think
not
this is going
Marvel
to
or no.
This is going to be so excellent.
It looks so good every week.
Yeah.
Like every new thing.
And I'm not like having high expectations for it. I think I'm having the proper amount of expectations for
Yeah.
it. I feel like this is going to be gripping. I feel like it's going to be gritty and real, but also it's going to have like all this vulnerability that goes with it.
And Runaways set the bar so high for this type of world, and I feel like this doesn't look like it's gonna slip. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I
It's just a
know.
maintaining of like quality.
Yeah.
It looks so good to me.
I mean, with the actors that they have here, and then even with this trailer kind of blowing out the world a little bit
Yeah.
with us and seeing just how they are kind of like nestled in danger.
Yeah, and what do you think, Amy?
Well, I've actually seen the first 4 episodes.
There's jealousy on my face while the trailer's on.
And yes, I think you guys are in for a treat. Everyone in the chat as well. Everyone's super freaking pumped, which is awesome. But it's different, which I appreciate, and it's not in New York. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, you know,
Which
I think
is
we should
nice.
have
Well, yeah,
more
there's-
things that aren't in New York or
Exactly.
aren't in you know the United States. I'd be okay with that. I'd be
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
My thing about Cloak and Dagger is, one, it's characters I never expected to see because I knew them from like Maximum Carnage. Like I read Maximum Carnage and I was introduced to Cloak and Dagger, and they were really interesting and cool, but I never thought like they'd get their own show. And two, when I watched Runaways, that was the first show that I felt old because I identified with the parents instead of the kids. This is the first show that I've been like, man, I wish I was young now. Because, like, kids get this. I got Smallville, which was amazing, but I had one show. Kids today get like 10.
Man,
Like, how great does that look? Imagine being like 14, like the perfect age for like a freeform show, or to like identify with Cloak and Dagger and be like, oh, here's an amazing Cloak and Dagger show with great production value and like great morals and ethics.
I think that's excellent.
So good.
And that's probably why Runaways is so incredibly like versatile and then also accessible because yeah, you can identify with the parents or you can identify with the kids
Yeah.
at the same time in the same show.
So brilliant. So I think Cloak and Dagger looks really good. That trailer
Yes,
keeps
looking
with the
forward
dark
to
gritty
it.
vibe. I'm really excited to watch that one.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be a little easier to watch on weekly basis than Legion, where you have to be like writing a thesis.
Be like, let me remember what happened here and be like, oh no, I didn't actually see the last episode. Stop.
yeah,
Stop.
which is a good and a bad thing. I'm excited for Cloak and Dagger's like,
Yeah.
ah.
And you know, a lot of fun stuff like in that actual trailer, like you know, what big part will Roxanne be with, you know, this particular world? For me, for Cloak and Dagger, I actually got introduced to them through Runaways.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, through Brian K. Vaughan's Runaways. And then I was like, oh, hey, who are these two characters? And like, oh, let me go back.
Yeah.
Let me look at some of their stuff and be like, wow, this is cool and really messed up in that good way.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
that perfect way.
Yeah, and like with the trailer itself, I enjoy the religious like overtones that they have on it, and then it's like them busting outside of conventions where it's like you know, we'll show them a divine pairing,
Yeah.
type of a thing, and then like the imagery, some of the imagery like in that trailer is so strong.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, like when
Striking.
you have Tyrone, it's just a flash of it, but it looks like Tyrone is running away from police or like some sort of SWAT members, and then there's a noose right there in the foreground. And just like it looks like maybe there's like Louisiana like around them, or it's just like a wooded area around. It's like that is visceral.
Yeah.
That is a visceral image. And it's like, oh my God. And then that couple that together with the scene where you have just I forget I think we went over the cast list before, but I don't remember who the actor is or what the title was, but it was he was firing at Tyrone while Tyrone ran down an alleyway, and then Tyrone, utilized his power probably instinctually as opposed to actively to then transport himself at that moment before he got shot in the back.
And the powers are so cinematically perfect. Like the power sets, I wouldn't have thought like Cloak and Dagger, what a great set to film. Like, it's just so visually stunning. Like the light versus dark is about as obvious and literal as it gets, and I never thought of Cloak and Dagger. Like, it's like, oh, what if light versus dark was a thing? And it's like a power of dagger of light and a cloak. Like, it's so, I can't wait for Romeo and Juliet with powers. So excited.
It's going to be a heck of a time, and I'm looking forward to it.
And the live chat is all, and I love this about our live chat. Our live chat is all saying the shows they watched as kids, and the range of ages, like Lecco JG is like, that's me, I'm a kid right now. And then other people are like, in '91 I had The Flash. JSOP had animated shows, and Zayat. Like, I just love that we encompass like 40 different years of different television in the live chat, and everyone gets along. So thank you, as always.
Excellent. Because we're all nerds. We're one tribe.
Merry Marvellites, you guys are great. Speaking of a tribe, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a show. It's coming back for another season. It is not apparently doing the thing I wanted it to, where the snap caused half the season to fall away into dust and half the characters to go. But it is getting a half season, which we briefly talked about last week. And it is coming out in summer 2019, which is why they don't have to worry about the snap, because it is coming out after we find out what is going on in Avengers 4. So that's pretty cool, as far as like they don't have to worry about the thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is that sometimes they have to time stuff with the movies, and that makes it really difficult. This gives them a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And I'm not mad at it.
No, I think it's great.
I'm really not. Marvel has done so excellently, and then we also have Marvel Netflix, Ant-Man and the Wasp coming up.
Yeah,
it's okay if there's kind of a pause with things for us to do, kind of breathe, kind of go back over things. Something I don't know if we discussed it or not last show. I kept on meaning to. I forget who tweeted me about it though, where they were like, "Hey, I'm finding it's a hard time for me to be able to rewatch things in the MCU because I know what happened in Infinity War." And I was like, I completely understand about that. For instance, I loved watching Thor Ragnarok before Infinity War. I can't finish it. It's just one of those things. I kind of need time.
Interesting. Yeah. Like we talked about, where we were like,
yeah, I just kind of need time. I mean, I haven't had an issue with watching Black Panther, but that's because it's Black Panther. So, there's that. But like, there's other movies in the MCU. I haven't been as joyful with rewatching, or I just had to kind of stop it where I'm like, oh, you know what? Not today.
Yeah.
Let's put this on. So speaking of which, we have our sister show, DC movie news and everything. I'm very excited with what DC could be doing in that time with like when Marvel takes this pause.
I really am excited.
Marvel's
for
taking a Comic-Con pause.
Yeah.
So it's like it'll be DC's time to
I want
like
DC
really
to have
shine.
like a slate of 10 movies announced that are all like with directors and actors. Like I'd love a
specific
structure.
directors and visions.
Yeah,
would
like
be
a
great.
structure to their universe.
Maybe a little less team, a little more focused would be awesome. Like
Also,
I'm looking forward to the Aquaman trailer.
Oh, I can't wait. Comic-Con's going to be a great time for DC to shine. I think it will. And in image news, Spawn! Jamie Foxx's Spawn! Jamie Foxx's Spawn, you guys. And I will make that relevant because Jamie Foxx is Electro in Spider-Man, and therefore that's canon in the Marvel Universe. And Spawn was in Todd McFarlane, who drew Spider-Man. So Todd McFarlane plus Electro equals its canon. So Spawn is Jamie Foxx, which is great.
Welcome to the
and
amalgam.
We can talk about it here.
The amalgam universe.
Jamie Foxx's Spawn! So I have no image show to say that how excited I am for that on. So I'm going to say it here.
He's also been after this role for the past 5 years, I believe. He's been gunning for it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Nice.
The funny thing about the role is that actually Spawn doesn't play like a huge role in his own film. He's actually going to be more like a Jaws, where they're going to like hide the shark. They're going to hide the shark for the most part, and it's going to be a detective going after like I guess the remnants of Spawn's wake in a sense.
I'm okay with it because the comics.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
enjoy.
There's a bunch of comic storylines with the two cops like pursuing Spawn, and I would love if because they wanted Leo for the skinny one, and if they got Jamie Foxx, I mean, come on, keep getting your Oscar winners.
Yeah, I believe Twitch and Sam is their name.
Yeah, I think so.
Are the characters I'm guessing are going to be gunning for Spawn, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like a cat and mouse kind of hide the shark kind of movie.
That'd be so dope.
And I'm all for it. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, if Comic-Con is as DC-tastic as Markeia and I hope it'll be, expect a DC Marvel movie news special, because why not?
Yeah, because y'all seem to really enjoy that when we had that before,
Yeah.
where it's like
We're gonna
and
make it a
we'll
thing.
Totally do that again.
Yeah,
It's great.
So I'm real hype. So before we leave our show today, Motorolan, friend of the show, Collider Heroes fan, and all around awesome dude who gave us amazing art at WonderCon, which I keep not giving to Markeia because I'm the worst. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Motorolan.
Happy birthday.
And he's about to celebrate a birthday anew because he's having a little Marvelite, which is very exciting. So anything we want to do,
Marvel
yeah.
babies.
Little Marvel
The
babies.
Marvel babies.
My best
what do
friend actually had a Marvel baby recently. My best friend in the world. I was the best man at his wedding, and he named his kid Parker after Spider-Man.
we-
So my best
fun.
friend's got a little Marvelite named Parker,
That's
which I
super
love.
fun. I like it. So what kind of birthday do we want to just do like birthday? Let's just do birthday.
Okay.
Let's do birthday.
Is that a
for,
song?
for Joey? No. Just like happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Motorolan! I'm looking forward to getting your art whenever Coy gets it to me.
I'm the best.
But happy birthday, my man. But yeah, let me do shout outs. Let's do questions. And then,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Okay, so shout outs. We have Quite Terrific at Mr. Terrific 2. Bark. Sunk Ship at Birds _ what are they?
That guy just he mixes it up, and it's always impressive.
He does. I'm still waiting for somebody to utilize all of the characters.
All the way through.
I know.
Yes.
It'll happen. Sean McCurley at Shinobi SMM. Ryan Street at Rybread8484. Jenny M at Jennifer Moore 3. Tenebris Knox at Knox _ Vitae. Laura H. Horsefall at Laura H. Horsefall. AJ Fairnot at Cad Bane 1996. Shamal Anthony Jayasundara at ShimJ9. Michelle E3 at Michelle at I Am Chubby Bunny. Liko at JORGB RGP. Mike Verderame at Mike Verderame 1. Chunky at Chunky Dunk UK. Now our question here. And actually I think we probably answered this. At Joshua Never Josh. Obviously she's going to go red and blue, right? This is in reference to Captain Marvel's costume. Otherwise, Fury's pager would have had her logo in green.
Yeah, it's her origin suit.
Yeah.
That's green, and then
And can we talk about the fact that he had like a 90s style pager that was
just
in
ready.
color?
He was ready with it.
It was in color though.
Shield was in color in the 90s.
It was in color.
future of the past.
It's like, how did they get a pager that was in color?
It was like they had the first Game Boy Color technology.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like every TV show that you see, like ER, and they have like their beepers and everything. It's like it's a green screen with black lettering.
And like barely visible black lettering.
Barely
Pagers were
visible.
rough.
Yeah. It's like all I can think of is like calculators where you can put like, what was it, 8008
Yeah.
5 in it. So that's like,
Boobless. Then we have two other questions
Yes.
that Amy sent us over. Aaron Wilkerson, what's up, dude? Sent, when do you think Feige and friends will announce the names of the movies for the next slate of MCU films? I hope never. I want them to be announced as they come out, or like Markeia and I were joking, 2 weeks
Yeah.
after Avengers 4. I really want to be surprised. I would love if they announce like 2 at a time.
Yeah.
The big slate for me is a little too revealing.
I have no problem with that. Do you have the second
Yes,
question?
and Ed Keats asked, do you think going forward the MCU will ever at least acknowledge what's happening in New York with Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones in their movies?
I'm okay with them not.
I feel like what they deal with is so
could
small
do
compared-
like a little nod to it or so, but I mean it's kind of like, I kind of think of it in the sense of all right, you have these epic superheroes, and they're having to deal with all this. I mean, portals opening in space, and
They got
the
sky holes. Netflix has
Chitauri
ground
and,
holes. Totally different.
you know, probably scrolls soon. And I kind of think of what Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and all. I kind of think of them more as first responders.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we do a nod to first responders, but if you're like these epic level superheroes dealing with all this stuff and like galactic stuff, you're not necessarily going to be able to name drop or say specifically, hey, isn't there a bulletproof guy somewhere?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm okay with them not worrying about fitting that in. at all? Because we know that they're there, and we know that they're in the same world because they reference the incident.
And the incident, like, it's kind of like pointing up. Like, the smaller ones would go, oh god, that thing in New York, where's the thing in New York, those folks? Like, for me, Spider-Man Homecoming kind of answered all that for us, because Spider-Man Homecoming, when Iron Man was literally at a party or driving, and he's telecommunicating with Spider-Man because he's handling, like, you know, getting churros and rescuing bikes. Like, he's dealing with street level stuff that's only, you know, adjacent to Luke Cage's and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones, like all that stuff. So I feel like Spider-Man Homecoming, that's more likely to reference Daredevil than like the Avengers would. So in Homecoming, they even reference that Happy is the one that deals with Spider-Man, not Tony. So I feel like it's that kind of power thing. Like, there's just not the time.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't mean that the sentiment isn't there. It's like, you know, definitely appreciate that they don't have to
100%.
go down and do anything like that. But it's just like,
It's so much
while
already.
the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man could definitely, you know, be kind of a connection there.
Saving bikes, getting churros. Any other questions from the live chat or anywhere?
No, but a lot of people had tons of ideas for, you know, who could be Captain Britain.
Ooh, hit us.
Ed Skrein.
Oh, he's great from Daredevil.
Ed-
Deadpool
yeah.
from Daredevil. For shame,
Francis, also known as Ajax.
Ajax, yeah. And funny enough, I just spoke with him. In Darkness just came out on Friday, so that's a movie. So he's in that one.
He's great.
Yeah, he's really sweet too. Let's see what else. I mean, people were talking about DC movies.
Okay.
And what they
Okay,
would like
cool.
to see. So Wonder Woman 2, Shazam.
Obviously. Oh yeah, with was it Levy?
Zach Levi?
Was it what?
Zach Levi?
Zachary Levi? Yeah.
Yeah. With the,
I said the name wrong. Levy. like the song. We drove down to the levee.
He's a New Orleans version.
Star Drew has a very, very important question.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
How many times did Coy watch Deadpool 2?
so far?
5?
Okay, so I saw it twice the press screening,
Okay.
and then I went opening night because I needed to,
Of course.
obviously. And then I also have Movie Pass, so that makes for the next one. And then a bunch of my friends had seen it once, but they wanted to see it with me a second time because I said it was a good second time movie.
Right.
And since I was the one that convinced them it was a good second time movie, they wanted me to go with them to tell them all the things that... And that time was really cool because it was, like, the theater was mostly empty, so I got to be like, hey, that's a Gail Simone reference. Oh, by the way, that reference is... Oh, that Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Juggernaut. Like, so I got to be like Easter egg guy for my friends that don't know the deep cut stuff. So
And
I was
I
an
assume
audio
they enjoyed
commentary.
that.
They asked me to.
Okay.
Because it was their second time, my fifth. So I wasn't like,
You're sitting there,
I'm ruining this.
sitting there like super happy, be like, "Hey, you're gonna laugh coming up because
They
this
asked
is
for the
about the-"
commentary. They asked,
Okay, I
get
love
ready
that.
for this part. No one likes that guy. No one.
Oh, wait
This
for
part's
it.
so funny.
Yeah.
Shut up. No, it was intentional audio commentary. So 5 times, all with different reasons.
You know, I saw Black Panther 6 times in theater, so you're going to have to see Deadpool
At
2
least one.
6 times in theater.
Shots fired.
saying.
Shots fired.
I'm just saying.
I like my character more than you like yours if you only see it 5 times.
Coy, go for 10. Go for 10.
The Infinity
know.
Gauntlet's been thrown down.
He's gonna come in here like next time, like when we have, you know, special guests.
I've seen
he'll
it
be like,
9 times.
9 times.
I'm going to tell Mob Guy yelled the 9 times I've seen
And
it.
I'll be like, well, guess what? Black Panther's still in theaters, so I saw it 3 more times.
We like-
Back to the drawing board.
We don't have time for Legion, but we spend 20 hours in each of our movies. Like, we go to the same theater, like, I'm going to see it 5 today. Yeah, well, I'm going to see it 10.
Prepare for my triple feature.
The ushers are like, go home. Please.
Be like, no, give me my ticket so I can take it in to show him.
You're welcome. So, yeah, anything else?
Yes, Zeno Hour has a question. Who should direct Moon Knight and who should play Moon Knight?
This is not a small question.
That is a huge question.
I always wanted Jake Gyllenhaal until Mysterio, I think, is great.
I want James Wan. I want James Wan to direct Moon Knight because I think he'll bring that proper amount of suspense and character to it. I love what he brought to. It was Insidious, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I love what he brought to that. I think that he would be able to balance that amount of action with just that psychological, like, awesomeness that you can have with Moon Knight. And I want it to be in the style of like The Raid meets Judge Dredd for the action scenes part of it. And when I say Judge Dredd, I don't mean Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd. I mean the one I think it's still
Carl
on
Urban?
Netflix. Carl Urban, yeah. I think it's still
my
on
girl
Netflix. So
Thilby.
it's like there.
Olivia
And
Thilby's
then
so good in it.
I'll think about who I want to play Moon Knight while Coy answers.
Rami Malek to play Moon Knight.
Ooh, that is an excellent one.
And then in the visual style of Raiders of the Lost Ark meets The Matrix meets Wonder Woman. So classic visuals, polished style, frenetic action, broad scope.
Okay.
And then that would be either a speedy Soderbergh style, like a frenetic energy. He can juggle a lot of actors well. He's really good at team movies. And if Moon Knight is playing, 3 different versions of himself, it's almost a team in himself. If they go like 4 or 5, that's even better. So Soderbergh, the Wachowskis, because the Wachowski sisters are really good at the Sense8. I would love to see how they handle something like a character that's singularly like that. Or those are my 2 for now.
Yeah. I was better at the director than like who I want. Okay, so the type of actor that I want to play Moon Knight, I want it to be someone attractive, but not in the conservative attractive way. The player was like chiseled jaw and everything. I want him to be attractive in a different way, because he's also a billionaire, kind of a thing. And I want an actor that would be able to play that twisted psyche where it's like it's just kind of off, but it's off in that way that you kind of want to look at those layers, so whoever that actor is that you're thinking, I'm not thinking Oscar Isaacs. I saw in the chat room somebody brought that up, where I'm not thinking like that, but if that makes sense to you, feel free to tweet me.
I've got a crazy director.
Okay.
And it's very specific, and people will be upset. Okay, think of digital push-ins, think of long zooms, think of dark, think of gloomy, think of tight dialogue, think of very, very frenetic action, think of like this like ambiance of like, David Fincher. Like The Game plus Social Network's pacing, and all under that Zodiac umbrella of dread. Because the whole time you watch Zodiac, you're just like, I'm upset. And Moon Knight is someone who's not ever happy. He's like trapped in his own mind, and you're dealing with like the superhero stuff. I think David Fincher could make a really cool Moon Knight.
I think that's I enjoy that choice.
Yeah,
I enjoy that choice.
So
it all depends on the medium too. Like I'm thinking like a Marvel Netflix. I'm thinking like this whole time that I'm thinking for Moon Knight as opposed to a full-fledged movie. Well, obviously David Fincher would be a full-fledged movie.
Fincher just went over to Netflix and did a full series, and he started House of Cards. He did the first 2 episodes of House of Cards.
I've never watched House of Cards.
It's really good.
Never watched.
And now is a good reason to jump on because it's going to be Robin Wright Penn doing House of Cards. She's taken over as president because Kevin Spacey is Kevin Spacey. And Christopher Plummer wasn't available. No, but Robin Wright taking over House of Cards is one of the most brilliant moves ever because the show from the beginning was like, oh, look who's a better president. It's kind of like Ant-Man and the Wasp, where they're like, look who can do the job better. And now she gets to come back and like be the best I'm so excited. Also, Robin Wright Penn in the MCU somewhere.
Oh, I love all of these choices. These are good because it's like it's specific visions.
Yeah.
And it's like it's also people with enough clout behind them that you want them to be able to put that and make that happen.
Agreed.
So it's like we would be seeing a James Wan or we would be seeing a David Fincher.
The Duffer Brothers.
The what?
The Duffer Brothers.
The Duffer Brothers.
The Stranger
Remind
Things.
Me. Oh.
Because they do like a very
But for
80s
Moon Knight.
style, and they can do it long form.
Like a 80s style Marvel's Netflix Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking
and it's
about?
like, so we're talking like Stephen King flavor. We're talking like gritty, skews a little younger than I would have originally thought, but the mystery and the adventure elements and all that stuff.
I think that's completely viable.
Because they need to like not just do another kid show. Like Dick Donner didn't do Goonies and then more Goonies. He did Lethal Weapon. He branched out. So Duffer Brothers go more adult and they go, oh, that'd be rad.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, so
Well,
I
there's
guess,
like 10
I guess
directors.
we just need to have Moon Knight happen. I guess that's really what it all boils down to.
Yeah, that's the.
It's
that's
like
the
those
move,
ideas
guys.
are out there. So it's like talk to those directors and let's have this done. So I guess for our absolute final thing that we're going to do is
A very special birthday.
and Tandy Newton in MCU anywhere. But yes, a very special birthday that we
Amy,
have.
how did you not tell us it was your
Amy,
birthday?
how did you not tell us it was
A
your
very
birthday?
happy birthday to
I'm
Amy.
guessing what kind of birthday? Do you want a sexy birthday shout out?
What kind of birthday shout out do you want?
Whatever you guys feel like doing.
Yeah, Aunt Anthony, not to put you on the spot, but we're going to do a sexy birthday shout out for our associate producer, Amy Cassandra Martinez.
As soon as you're ready. We're as ready as we ever are for the sexy shout outs.
Yeah, and I see in the chat room, I'm sure somebody brought up Catherine Bigelow by now.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. she's usually a name. Aaron Sorkin, I see, is in there. Yeah.
Duffer Brothers Young Avengers, great idea. Oh, there it is.
Well, hello, Amy Cassandra Martinez,
This is fun.
associate producer extraordinaire and Marvel nerd for Marvel TV Weekly.
She makes those rundowns so big, girthy, and long.
Well, here it's your birthday. You're a year wiser,
Hopefully.
a year nerdier.
Now, the live chat and people watching all around the world be very upset to know that you're a married woman, but that doesn't stop us here from
true.
making sure you feel that sweet, sweet birthday love from
Sweet, sweet birthday
a
love.
bunch of strangers while you're on a couch.
On the cosmic couch.
Oh, riding that cosmic couch thoroughly.
Because we love what you do and we love what you bring. So have a very merry, sexy birthday, Amy.
Happy birthday, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Oh, you guys are fun.
Well, that was the moment of the day. And
yes.
So we're fired now.
yep, I'm never not embarrassed after a segment. Like, there hasn't been one where I was like, well, that went well.
MVD.
I never.
I remember there was one sexy birthday shout out like halfway through. I'm like, please be over 17.
Yeah. I remember being like, oh God,
Oh
the audience.
God.
We know she's married and she's over 18, both important
Barely.
factors.
No, I'm just kidding. Nope.
She turned
people-
19 today.
Yes. No,
Friday.
a lot of people were asking me my age, and I mean,
That's not important.
exactly. And I was like, I'm 59, actually.
Between 18 and 80. That's where I like to live.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're 59, Coy's 71, I'm 69.
Making
There
it
it
work.
is.
Making it work. Sorry,
fantastic.
guys. Spoiler alert.
Wait, I'm gonna change that to 70. I'm gonna change that to 70.
There's the internet. There's the safety
I
internet
said
protocols.
70 first.
70.
I said 70.
So this has been our very erroneous scattered week of news. It was nothing big this week because it is post Infinity War, post Deadpool, and pre Comic Con. So the next few weeks probably just scattered stuff going around. But in the meantime, where can they find you on the internet, birthday girl?
On all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. I have been binge watching Parks and Rec.
It's so good.
Ah.
It's so freaking good.
I guess I gotta start
Yes.
So good.
watching.
It's like I'm halfway through season 7 and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I need to
No.
slow down.
Yeah.
Because if this ends, what is my free time?
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Yes, yes.
It's so good.
I was on season 2 on Friday.
Oh my god.
And I'm on 4.
It's taken me 4 months, but I respect that cause. Good God, that's
Oh,
impressive. You're like
man.
5 seasons. Tomorrow.
The furthest I got was the filibuster episode with
Oh,
Amy.
that's so good.
Yeah.
With Patton Oswalt?
Aw,
Yeah, so that's the furthest I got. I don't know what season that was in. I
think it was
season
4?
1.
okay.
You were pretty good.
What?
You were like
Oh,
3 or
was
4.
I?
Yeah.
I don't
okay, then
remember.
I guess I was watching it pretty regularly, but I
Yeah, it's a good
yeah,
show. It's a
after
good
the
show.
filibuster just fell off. That's all I did. There wasn't anything like
back.
I'm not watching it.
It's funny to see Chris Pratt go from Andy Dwyer to Star-Lord Skinny. Like, all of a sudden he's like, what'd you do? I stopped drinking beer. Svelte.
I like his gifts when he's from.
so good.
Oh.
Where can they find you on the internet?
You
Miss
can
Markeia?
find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markeia McCarty. That's MarkeiaMcCarty. I've been blessed with a lot of RPGs lately. So if you are at all interested in getting in RPGs, for instance, tonight at 8 p.m., we'll be on front page of Twitch at Hyper RPG for a Doctor Who RPG. I will be playing A Person in the World. It is a Greatest Showman circus type of
that's awesome.
Doctor Who episode that's going to happen. And if you go into the Hyper RPG chat room, they are so super positive, kind of like y'all are, but y'all are more awesome. Sorry. But they even like regularly just gift out subs to people
Cool.
that just join the chat room. So you could get possibly get a free month of Hyper RPG. And then you could see me on Mondays at Hyper RPG. I will be GMing for them for 10 Candles. That'll be Monday, June 4th and June 11th. 10 Candles is a tragic horror RPG, and I'm going to put them through their paces. This is going to be, I'm going to give them a lot of hope, but they're going to have to work for that hope. And then also this Wednesday at 9 p.m. at Geek and Sundry, I will be GMing Weave Society. If you've kept up with Weave Society at all, it's a very cool card game / app-based system. And I do recommend for you to join for that one because I am putting them through their paces with a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque adventure. It would be a space adventure called Custodians of the Universe. So, join me on that. That's going to be fun. And I'll tweet it out later too.
And I'm Coy Jandreau. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CoyJandreau. I found out the thing that I've been hyping that I could tell you soon. I cannot tell you to the end of June, but the end of June, the last week of June, I can finally tell you what I've been doing. It is not RPG based, but I've never RPG'd, so I'm actually curious. I'm gonna have to find out what that's all about through Markeia. You can also find me here every week, and you can find me on Instagram where I have my weird Insta review situation. And we'll be having some special guests coming soon. We're scheming all that up, and schedules are madness. But we'll also be planning a watch along and another fan meetup stuff soon. So we're gonna try to be more interactive and definitely tweet us, talk to us about all this stuff. And until then, we will see you next week. Thanks, guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.